Langrell, Director of Literacy at eStem Public Charter School.
And I'm Rachel Gamble. I currently teach 5th grade Literacy and Social Studies at eStem Middle School. We are excited about sharing the Daily 5. We are completely sold on the Daily 5 and know that its basic principles can be implemented successfully in any classroom.
We wanted to begin by sharing with you how we came across the Daily 5. For me, it started about 2 years ago. I'd been teaching in the classroom for 18 years, working with students with literacy. I had been meeting with small groups and working with students one-on-one because I knew that was the most effective way to meet students' individual needs. But the same question kept coming up time and time again. What should the rest of my class be doing while I'm meeting with these students one-on-one and in the small groups? I tried everything. I tried individual seat work, I tried work packets, I tried centers, and the results were always the same. I found that I couldn't meet effectively with those small groups or individual students because I was either redirecting students who had somehow gotten off task, or students would interrupt the small group or one-on-one conferences with questions. I just felt like I was failing the students on all sides. I knew there had to be a better way. So I began to search, and that's when I came across the Daily 5, a book written by Gail Boucher and Joan Moser. In the first chapter, they started to talk about the same journey that I had gone through. They were teachers just like me, with the same frustrations, only they took their search much further, and they researched for over 20 years and had found and worked with students and had come up with this management plan, the Daily 5. I read the whole book. I was hooked. I just couldn't believe it. I really felt like this was going to be the answer.
Last August, when I was asked to switch from 1st to 4th grade, I wondered how I was going to switch overnight. Then I went into Mrs. Langrell's classroom during my planning time a few days before I made the switch. She was teaching her students the 10 steps for independence for work on words. Wow is all I could say. They knew exactly what to do, and they were enjoying it. Then Mrs. Langrell shared the Daily 5 with me. I bought the book and read it in one night. I was totally hooked. Then I started launching it in my classroom. The Daily 5 has changed the way I teach and the way that I interact with my students. Students will rise to the level of expectation and independence if you teach them how and if you believe in them.
Last year, Rachel and I were partners. We taught 4th grade literacy together. We spent the entire year implementing the Daily 5. We were constantly blown away at how simple it was, how easily the students had caught on to the routines, and really just how much they were flourishing as readers and writers. We felt really good about what we were doing, but the first signs or evidence that came back was when we got our benchmark scores. We couldn't believe it. We were completely blown away. We had 92% proficient in advanced that scored on the benchmark. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, and we know it's because of the Daily 5.
We wholeheartedly believe that this is a direct result of implementing the Daily 5 in our classrooms. Daily 5 is a management system that allows students to be independent readers and writers.
My favorite part of Daily 5 is that I get to choose what I want to do. In every first round, I like to choose writing because I get to write my own stories.
My favorite part about the Daily 5 is the reading. So, if you haven't seen any really good books you like, you can pick them out and you can read them. And then when you want to get some new books, just get some new books. And when you want to read them, you can read them and then learn other books. And then when you're really good at the other books and chapter books, you can read all of those.
My favorite part of Daily 5 is reading to self because I like working independently and it helps me focus.
Still is when you're doing something and you're doing it longer and you can't. That's how you build stamina.
What is the Daily Five? The Daily Five, which was created by Gail Boucher and Joan Moser, known as the Sisters, is explained in detail in their book, The Daily Five, Fostering Literacy Independence in Elementary Grades. In this presentation, we will be offering a brief synopsis of their work and show how we're implementing the Daily Five in our classrooms. Daily Five is really three things. It is tasks, a system to teach independence, and a structure to hold the literacy block together.
The tasks that we use, there are 5 of them, which are known as the Daily Five. The first one we teach is read to self. The next one is work on writing. Then after work on writing, the other tasks are read to someone as well as word work and listen to reading. Those are the 5 tasks. Now the system that we use to teach the students how to work independently is also a part of the Daily Five. It is a system so that all students are engaged in meaningful literacy activities. The system teaches everybody in little incremental steps how to be independent. Daily Five is 5 tasks and a system for teaching independence, but it is also the structure that holds our literacy block together. Daily Five is not a curriculum. It is a management system to help organize the literacy block, and it is designed to make any curriculum work better.
At the heart of Daily Five is a rotation system that we refer to as rounds. A round begins with a whole group focus lesson. After the focus lesson, students check in with their Daily Five choice and eventually their goal and strategy that they will be working on. Once they have checked in, they go off and do work that we have talked about or that they told us they would work on. Then the teacher works with small groups or confers with students one-on-one. We call this cycle a round.
There are key materials, routines, and concepts we introduce to children in the first days of school that are crucial to the success of the program. The first is establishing a gathering place. A gathering place is an open space large enough for the whole class to come together and sit on the floor. By having the whole class sitting right in front of us, distractions are limited and proximity allows us to check in on behavior more effectively. Another benefit is that students are able to turn and talk to each other, engaging everyone in the conversation of a lesson. Teaching students to select good fit books is another important concept to the program. We teach students to use IPIC, which is an acronym. The I stands for I choose a book, P stands for purpose, why do I want to read it, I stands for interest, does it interest me, C is for comprehension, am I understanding what I am reading, and K, which stands for know, I know most of the words. To help foster independence, students need access to books that are a good fit wherever they choose to sit in the room. In the younger grades, this could mean anywhere from 5 to 15 picture books. For older students, it would be 1 to 2 chapter books. The book box or book bag is what the students use to store their books and journals. This tool is handy because it is mobile. They will have access to their books no matter where they are at in the classroom.
Another important concept in the Daily Five is what we call check-in. We have the students self-reflect on their behaviors to help them become more aware of the expectations of the classroom culture and how successful they were as they work toward the expectations.
The reason why Daily Five works is because of the fundamental principles on which it is based, those being trusting students, providing choice, nurturing community, creating a sense of urgency, building stamina, and staying out of students' way once routines are established. When trust is combined with explicit instruction, our students acquire the skills necessary to become independent learners. Students get to choose the order in which they complete the Daily Five. Choice is highly motivational and puts children in charge of their learning. A sense of community provides members with ownership to hold others accountable for behaviors of effort, learning, order, and kindness. For each Daily Five choice, the sense of urgency comes from understanding the why. The purpose for each task is clear, so the activity becomes worthy of concentrated effort and time. The stamina needed for the Daily Five is much like the stamina needed for physical exercise. We help students build up their stamina for reading and writing 1 minute at a time until the bulk of the class is independently engaged in worthwhile and meaningful activities. Once children understand what is expected of them, have practiced strategies, and have built their stamina, it is time for us to stay out of the way and let them read and write. We want their behaviors to be intrinsic and not anchored to our reaction.
We also discovered that more inviting classrooms create more opportunities for learning. We have brought in plants, pillows, couches, and dining room tables. Comfort is essential for building stamina. We all define comfort in different ways. Some like lounging on a comfy pillow, while others prefer a straight-backed chair. If children are comfortable, they can build and maintain their reading and writing stamina far beyond what we saw when they were sitting at desks in rows. Students now have a choice of seating in the classroom.
We are sold on the Daily 5. We know that it teaches independence and gives children the skills needed to create a lifetime love of reading and writing. When all 5 tasks have been introduced and students are fully engaged in reading and writing, it allows the teacher the opportunity to work with small groups and confer with students one-on-one. This structure is effective, the results are amazing, and the students really look forward to Daily 5 time.